stream layout right now. Anyone who's looking at the stream, everything's all kind of screwy here because I kind of just ran in and started everything up and loading up the blocks as we speak. Truthfully, my account has been pretty much up and flat for the most of the day. So things have been quite uneventful for my portfolio, to tell you the truth. All right, so today we have no blocks. I had the algo computer running the whole time, scanning for blocks. We got nothing here. So I see no blocks. Anything on QQQ? We got one block at 280. We got one 210. No blocks really. So I'm thinking this rally is not this is not an institutional rally. If I don't see any blocks, there's probably still no institutions trading here. That means this is still pretty weak, right? Yeah, they're TLT blocks, right? So we have to decide if those TLT blocks are a buy or a sell. But I'm looking at my SPY live. I don't see I don't see any SPY blocks. I don't see any any coded blocks at all. I don't see any 501s, twos, no 510s, nothing. All I see here on SPY, we got a block here at the biggest block we had today was 261.88, 372K. So no live blocks here. So essentially, the market is currently pricing in or trying to decide still the price, the actual probability of a rate hike hitting uh, this month, and I believe they have it pegged down to like 67% or 69% chance of a rate hike still for this month, with no rate hikes next year. Now, we have to decipher this because this is kind of important to understand what it means when they say there's no rate hikes next year. Um, the Fed is essentially saying that yes, we see a possible slowdown in the economy, and therefore we do not want to exacerbate things by raising rates and causing housing to move up. Because if housing costs more, rents cost more, mortgages cost more money coming out of people's pockets, and the fiscal uh, stability of the customer base becomes questionable, right? So, at in general nature, what you should be looking at is that the Fed is a is the enemy of the uh, of the people in general, right? The Fed wants to make sure that money is not so easy to come by, right? And the reason for this is because if money's not easy to come by, that means money's worth something. Okay? So that is their job. Their job is to ensure that money is worth something and that the dollar standard, the US Federal Reserve, uh, sees that the dollar standard stays the dollar standard and that people continue to use the dollar in their day-to-day lives and further trading. So that is essentially the Fed's job. Okay, so that, understanding that that is the Fed's job, you also have to understand that they have to make all this fuckery in the market, and when they start signaling that there is no more rate hikes in 2019 if they decide to take on that much of a dovish approach, right? What we're going to see is actually um, a lot of a lot more capitulation, right? It's going to be steady for a little bit, and then we're going to see more capitulation, just because the Fed is now understanding that that they see the slowdown, and that is going to lead to ending fiscal quantitative tightening early, right? But more so, it's going to also signal that yes, perhaps we have hit peak economic growth for now, right? And if that is the case, if we have in fact hit peak economic growth for now, okay, then things cannot continue to sustain an upward trend, and therefore we have to come down. So you guys have to understand that going forward as you trade this month, because that is essentially what you're trading. You're trading the probability of that December rate hike and the probability of further rate hikes in 2019, alongside the probability of essentially the economic slowdown and peak growth occurring right now. Also, I just want to state this last lot of bit of volatility, right? Um, the that has coincided with first the great news coming out of the Trump Z dinner, and then the subsequent bad news coming out of the news media about uh, the Huawei. Uh, is it Huawei? I don't know. Huawei, the exec being arrested. Yeah, along with that guy getting arrested, right? That essentially caused major rifts in the possible trade war truce, and that caused a lot of people guessing which way to go. I heard the someone who I know who manages. Yeah, thanks. Someone who I know who manages a fund. Someone. Uh, they were essentially. Yeah. Okay. I can't say that. You know. Shit. It took me weeks to say capitulation, man. Give me a break. I haven't needed to say capitulation in 10 years. All right. I'm getting trolled here. Anyway, that was essentially, um, shots fired in the trade war truce, and that was the reason for all the volatility, right? That was induced, and essentially, this is not out of this world for governments to leverage somehow uh, in order to get a point across. Like for instance, this exec is a perfect way to get a point. Yeah, exactly. It's leverage. No, I wouldn't say hostage. It's leverage. Okay, and you know it, it is the way it is. That's the world, man. If you think that governments don't get involved in people's private lives, especially like, well, shit. If you're a high profile individual, get ready to take some flack if you got some sort of political affiliations. Like, let me put it this way, right? I know this is gonna sound really, really weird and fucked up, but there are countries whose economies run on illegal ventures, right? And those governments would never ever do anything to harm those illegal ventures. So think of it that way, right? Russia, China, IP, IP property theft, whether it's hacking, whatever the fuck it is. But uh, that has always been the case throughout history, throughout the ages.
Yeah, 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 we're calling it XLU, but we're never gonna trade it.
McQueen, essentially, I'm saying that if you're a high profile individual, stay the fuck home in your mansion. Don't go anywhere.
Mhm. Except the richest clubs.
Yep, another month or two, that shit'll be fuck. Well, no, actually, we're going for like an end of February opening, so yeah, no, it's gonna be great.
I'm gonna be the main stripper.
It's not a strip club.
Uh, is it for rich people only?
No, dude, we don't discriminate against money.
Okay, so I can wear I can wear my sports outfits and all that stuff. I can come in Kappa.
No sweatsuits allowed. Anyway, enough with the trolling. Jesus. So, I will state this again. I don't see any big blocks. I don't see anything major coming in right now. I'm just going to let things kind of happen. I'm in pretty good positioning right now. I have nothing expiring near term. Um, just looking for some continuation on QQ, which at this point I'm looking at will probably not happen.
Yeah, it's tough to say, man.
Yeah, as long as there's no blocks, it makes things very, very difficult to trade. Because without blocks, it means that there's no big money in the markets.
Yeah, have you seen the fact that tomorrow is Brexit?
Yep, that's going to be a doozy. But didn't they decide they were going to delay it?
Yeah, but I thought it was for tomorrow, so I don't know how they decided today. I don't
I was listening to it on Bloomberg how they were just screaming at fucking Theresa May and like telling her that this is the best deal. Like, holy shit.
know.
Buzzy.
Yeah, RTN. RTN is crazy, man. I saw what happened this morning. I was like, fuck my life, and now, boom. Like, that's not cool.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I've been hearing that they delayed the vote.
Mm. Only Asian club. I don't know where the market is right now. I can't tell where it's gonna go next, but we're just gonna play the smaller patterns, I guess, and play the pumps up and down. What? What is a rate abatement?
Rent abatement.
What is that?
It means I ain't paying fucking rent till July.
What? That's crazy.
Yeah, we're gonna open end of February. No rent till July. A couple months free rent, making that money. And
Okay,
then,
you gotta have a good credit though. To do that.
yeah, you know how much fucking money this building is, bro? You know how much my rent is gonna be once it turns on?
Shit, that's cool. Will we have your wife doing concerts there too?
Concerts, dude?
What? They don't
Yeah.
have Oprah concerts at clubs?
I wouldn't really call it a concert. We're gonna have like, fucking jazz musicians and there's a house room there, so you know. Anyway, the fuck are internals doing? What's going on here in this market? Because we got some buying here off the bottom here on vol speed. So what? We just want to end flat today? Is that all we want to do?
Pretty much. Yeah, we might be in this huge sideways. But every time I'm saying that we might be in this huge sideways, we get a pump. So
Yeah.
I don't
As
know.
I was stating earlier, we came. What was the low on ES today? Can someone tell me what was the cash low on ES today?
Yesterday?
No, what was the cash low on ES today? 25.83. Fuck. All right, guys. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I'm going back to bear camp. Until we hit 25.70, I'm not trusting any pump.
Yeah, look at that Nvidia. Oh, never mind. It got stopped. Fuck.
But yeah, that's essentially what I'm looking for.
Oh man. Avgo was really nice today. I missed it. Yeah.
Oh my god, that candle on Avgo. That's very
Yeah.
sexy. Are we gonna try to play a VIX crash? Or too early to tell?
It's possible.
Let me check that block out. Let me see. Can I? Is that the first one, or is there a duplicate of it somewhere?
I think we need to see how we close though.
VIX puts.
Yeah, I think that's what we're gonna see. We're gonna see like some 30-point move up and then 10 point move down, and then start the process again.
Looks like we're gonna have actually a pretty close strong here by this volume coming in on fall speed. We're still negative volume, so that means that there has been more volume that has left today than has entered the marketplace today. Overall, the VIX is looking like it does want to have a bit of a crush on it, and ADD still at negative 13.16. We had a huge sell-off from the morning. Um, but overall, things do look like they are kind of bullish. We did capitulate over to the 2580s. We didn't quite reach 2570, so that area is going to have to get touched eventually, I think. How up are you on your grub, Dragos?
I closed that position out already.
Oh.
Last week. I
I
wasn't comfortable anymore.
I keep trading around the position. I keep adding to it every time it's in the 160s and selling it at 220 to 240.
Yeah, it's I remember we had like a play like this where it was like an auto company. I don't remember it.
Hertz,
Ah,
HTZ.
fuck. No, it was an auto company. I don't remember. It had the same pattern as this thing, and it just we tried to catch. It was like catching a falling knife. So you know,
Yeah, but
grub,
this is a
grub. We caught the low really well at 78, but then what ensued is pretty sad because Amazon, while Grub was doing this, Amazon went up like what 300 points. So if that's the case, then I'm like, okay, well, fuck it, rather get up, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I keep trading around the position, so it's just the constant payer at this point. But I do understand your view. I'm more disappointed with myself that I didn't take that 1625 last week for this week for the possible 10 bagger. But it is what it is.
Wait, what did you say? What was the 10 bagger?
The 1625 Amazon from last week to this week.
Oh yeah, that thing. Yeah. Yeah, I'm disappointed that I didn't take your TLTs. Like that was really good call. I just totally missed it, and I wasn't even watching the yield. Well, not the yield, but I mean the interest rate and bond relationship for a while. So I totally missed it, but that was a good call, and it might still have room to go, dude. So you know, still a good, still on watch bonds. I'm in I'm in CMG from last Friday. I don't know if you saw that, but that's a good position that I have. Yeah, we'll see how that develops. Mainly
Uh,
been scalping.
yeah, I'm still holding the QQQs. I still have my QQQ position. I'm also still in my QQQ March 180 calls, believe it or not. I'm still in those things, and those things are currently break even on me. Those things didn't really move much through all this chop, and those probably would have been a great ad, which goes to show you that when you buy plenty of time on certain names and certain underlines, it really does make sense, and you can make good money from the ebb and flow of the premium on longer dated contracts.
Yeah. Also, one of the things that I'd like to highlight is that for people selling premium, like if you sell premium, I don't know, like a lot of people in here don't, but today is like we broke the low, we bounced back up, and in those cases, it's good to sell some puts, make some good bank because the IV is so high, but the IV obviously gets crushed in this move up, so it's good. Rest in peace, Samsung's friends who shorted that
Hello?
drop.
Hello? Hey, what's going on?
Yeah, man, cookbook finally, dude.
Oh, okay. So, all right. Is it possible I could pick it up tomorrow? Okay, great. I'll pick it up tomorrow. Great. Thank you so much. Oh, hey, QQQ. Hey, Grub.
Yeah, yeah, this is it. Boom. And now some Sean's calls are about to go in the money. Where's Sanshon? He's not in here.
So everyone's making money today?
Oh yeah,
Good.
made some good calls on Amazon for DMC, and we caught the pump on Apple as well.
You didn't alert it in premium.
No, but I posted it. Yeah, I posted it in premium chat. I didn't post it in premium alerts. I keep on forgetting.
It's okay. I still love you. Even though you didn't send Sippy 8500.
What? For what? For what?
Samsung knows.
Yeah, CMG is running. Yep.
Hey.
What's up, man? Don't switch the cars?
Sorry, let's pull this up. What do you have for momentum indicators?
Momentum? You mean? Well, I use breadth. I use breadth indicators. I don't use momentum indicators. I care about market breadth. Right now, I see a lot of up. I have a lot of uptrend from 12:15. All I see is uptrend from 12:15. Like at 12:15, some shit happened, and everyone said, "Okay, we're good. Let's go higher." You know. I'll be back, gentlemen. I have to go move my car.
All right. Yeah, CMG is running NVIDIA 152.5. Really hope we see some bullishness on AMD and NVIDIA end of day for the semis rotation call out. All right.
All right, I am back. Whew. Sorry about that. Wow, everything's just flying here. Grub back at 81. Bragos couldn't handle a little bit of volatility on a name that came down 50% from all-time highs. And and believe me, if you had TLT, you probably would have been really, really impatient with that too, because that took 2 months for that to play out. As you're just draining premium for 2 months until you make 600%. You know?
Indeed. Out of nowhere, too, right?
It's not really out of nowhere. I mean, that drop was mechanical. We talked about it at great length. We knew what was happening there. We knew that drop was mechanical. We knew that TLT could not sustain those low prices for so long. So we understood that we had to move. We had to move higher eventually. And what made that whole move really, really odd really is that the markets decided that they wanted to move together. Like equities and treasuries moved in sync, but they never actually do. They're not supposed to. Yes, there is one block. I see that. A 265 block, 1530, 1538, 265.08 block on SPY. We have our first block of the day.
Yeah, mainly scalp.
Samsung. So we got those two blocks together. I see. Is that what you're referring to? So are we going to take some end of day exposure on Amazon? Because what is Amazon going to do? Back 1700 tomorrow? Or are we going to fall back under 1600 tomorrow? Is the question, right? I know, Dragos, you want to see what, 1400 eventually?
Yeah, but not now. I think you missed today. We exited at the low for the puts. We literally exited at the low, and then I told the people to get back in the short at 1627, and then look at 1227. Exit Amazon.
If this price action continues to stay strong, I might consider a long position here on Amazon, I think. Okay, so I see wants to go test the cash highs here. So everything just wants to kind of run.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, dude. Like the Death Cross, I don't take it too much into consideration. Like that's the thing. We could retest 1700, like Richard said. It's like, and what he said about TLT also applies to Amazon. I was expecting a huge dump. Did we get that huge dump? No. So at this point, it looks too corrective for it to go even lower. So that means that there's a high probability of a pullback coming, right? And how do you time those pullbacks? With like the yen with something else, right? So that's why I told you to get out, because at least we're going to have a pullback before a next move down. But now I don't know. If he's interested in calls and you're in puts, then shit, I'm gonna stay out of Amazon because that thing is not nobody knows where it's at right now, right? Nobody knows where it's going.
Well, the thing is, like it's like you said, if this is corrective in nature, right? Is it corrective for more downside or more upside, right? Is the question.
Yes, on the smaller time frame, I could see a retest of 1700. Yes, I could see it, but also Chickadee is also staying out, so I'm probably gonna stay out
I mean, we've made money. We can penalty box it.
because I don't see anything, dude. Like, to be honest, I'm fine. I'm fine trading the pumps, but you know,
Hey, that's what makes money, right?
yeah. When the market moves like a penny stock, Jesus.
So we have 15 minutes left to lock in some trades, right? I think that today's relief rally was much needed. And well, the question is, are we going to get follow through back up through the upper channel, or are we just going to sell off here and possibly go and make lower lows? I wish I had the answer to that question. I unfortunately do not. I'm not a fortune teller. Uh, However, what I can see simply is that right now everyone's kind of got this dovish rate hike idea, and that everyone thinks that Powell's going to pause the rate hikes, and if that happens, essentially it will be fine for a week or two, and then the market will come crashing down. That's what has happened every time the Federal Reserve has decided to alter its course and make a and change the way they perceived the economy needed to go by adjusting the rates, and that will, of course, affect inflation. So that's essentially what we're trading. Right now, like I said, everyone's got this dovish idea that Powell's either not going to hike rates in 2019 or it's just the one rate hike. Um, I think that that might not be correct. Uh, that would be viewed as Powell bending the knee to Trump, and I am not so sure that Powell will want to bend the knee to Trump. It's true. The idea that the Federal Reserve bends backwards for the president will be actually viewed as really, really terrible. It might be viewed with some scrutiny on Powell's side, and it won't look good for our economy as a whole. Overall, market's looking really, really weak, though I would say, and you have to really consider whether or not you want to sell this pop or not. There are Google puts that look very, very interesting. There's Google 1000s. Google 1000s for this week could pay out. I think the 1000 might actually have a little too much open interest, and they might not actually hit that just because of that. Disney surpasses 7 billion in global box office sales in 2018.
Yeah, but Disney feels like kind of high here.
What, Google doesn't feel high?
I'm thinking it's probably if I don't know, dude. Like I'm gonna stay away from Amazon for some time. If we come all the way back up to 1700, I'll short it for sure. And if it dumps, I'll chase it on the pullback, right? But for now, I cannot take any trades because I see all my charts and they're just screaming more sideways. So I'll stay out. The only thing that could go up is RTN and LMT, like Samsung called. That's the only thing that I have substantial up moves for, but the rest is pretty boring. That does look like a huge bear flag on Netflix though. 5 minutes. Huh.
Everything's looking really, really weak. Like, it can just come right down, easy.
Yeah, of course.
Hey,
Yeah, you're right. Man, better trade the intraday patterns. The only thing I really like to hold latest technology, I guess. Thought you were Polish XLF. Sancho dumps Samsung last minute.
All I know is I'm ready for any possible crash because the last time the market crashed, Grub went up about 8%.
Wow, really? I didn't see that.
Yeah, take a look at the February crash and look what Grub did. Every
Okay.
company has a candle down. Grub has a candle up, like a fat one. You see that?
Yeah. What the fuck? Yeah, but that thing was in massive spike mode though. Look at this thing. It was in a massive spike mode. It's like SQ. Now
Yeah,
it's dumping
but the
hard.
idea is that is it possible that these companies can still have 100 times forward earnings? No, probably not. But back to 50, 60, 70, sure. Hey, pup. Да. Да, мне надо твой доктор, да. Okay.
I think Costco might gap up on here.
Fat candles on Grub. That's all I'm seeing.
Grub. Dude, I wanted to ask you something, but it's not market related.
Then ask me after 4.
Okay.
Okay, last minute trade. Let's see. All right. I know this is gonna sound silly, maybe even outright crazy. I'm looking at SPX December 12th, 2700 call for 240. There's something very interesting there. I don't know if you see that.
What is it?
Hello.
Ричи, ты что, с мамой поругался?
She wanted me to drive her
Is
this
that
morning.
because there's some flow?
She wanted me to drive her this morning. Yeah, такой, I was sick.
2,700 for December.
She wanted to get
The
a train.
monthlies.
To get there, it was
I think it's the 21st.
An hour and a half, and she woke up late. And so I got into the protocol, so I tried to give her a ride. She didn't want it. And then he said,
MGNX.
most of the tire was flat. So I just went for service. They told me 20 minutes ago. They said that they're not sure what it was. They put the tire back on. They're holding it for warranty. I believe. Да, sure, yeah. Да. Она там? Окей, хорошо. Я буду ехать. I need I don't know, like half an hour. Я там буду. Okay?
I'll remain patient. Like if I see a pattern developing on futures in after hours, then yeah, I might take another long. But there's no point in rushing here, Richard.
Look at that. Do you see that? You see the volume?
Yeah.
You notice something very weird about that? That's unusual volume kicking in, which means that everyone is counting for a move up tomorrow. Look at that. Look at the strikes. Everyone is looking for a move up tomorrow. Puts don't have that kind of traction right now.
Wow. So now they're buying up calls to hedge their shorts, huh?
Yeah, everyone's buying up pulse hedge shorts.
That's interesting. Oh, it was a fun day. So yeah, my question was that have you ever ordered some food?
From Grub? All the time.
Wait, so Grub is a food delivery service?
It's a food clouder, yeah.
Grub Inc.
You
Is
don't
it Grubhub?
Yeah, it's Grubhub.
Oh shit.
If you knew that, would you have held longer?
Bro, I